Hello and welcome. In this video, we're going to have a lot of practice on simplifying to solve algebraic equations. Simplifying algebraic equations makes solving them so much easier, but it's a skill that's a bit of an acquired taste. You'll need a lot of practice. So this is exactly what this video is. A bunch of practice with the trickiest algebraic equations that you have to simplify. We'll go over how to simplify and solve them, and the strategies and mindset you should use when solving them. So, let's start first with multi-step equations. Now, what is a multi-step equation? Well, it's sort of the simplest form that we'll get to, right? Essentially, it's where we can't just solve an equation in a single step. Something like x minus 5 equals 7 is what we call a single-step equation. We add 5 to both sides. We have x by itself, and we get x equals 12. Boom, we solved it. But multi-step equations require a bit more work. Say we have something like 3x minus 5 equals 22. We can't solve that instantly. We'll need to use multiple steps. So, to get rid of this x, to get this x by itself, we'll need to get rid of both the 5 and the 3. So how do we do that? We get rid of addition and subtraction first. In this case, I'm going to add 5 to both sides. This cancels out. I have 3x equals 27. And then we get rid of multiplication and division. So I divide by 3 on both sides. I get x equals 9. So the general order for these types of problems is to use the opposite order of PEMDAS, right? If you remember PEMDAS, that's parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction, right? We do it the opposite. We get rid of addition, subtraction first, and then we get rid of multiplication and division. Let's do another example. Say I have something like 9x minus 11 equals negative 38, right? Well, I'll need to get rid of addition and subtraction first to get the x all by itself. So I'm going to add 11, because negative 11 plus 11 is 0. Again, this cancels out. I get 9x equals negative 27. Then I get rid of multiplication and division. So now I'm dividing by 9 on both sides. Cancels out. I get x equals negative 3. That's my final answer. Now you might be saying, well, this is looking pretty easy. And if so, that's good. Let's do one last trick question before we move on. Let's do x over 7 minus 4 equals 4. Now, don't worry that this is a fraction. So as you soon see, we're going to use the exact same process. So, first, we get rid of addition and subtraction. That means we want to get rid of this negative 4. How do we get rid of this negative 4? We add a 4. Look at this 0. But remember, we have to add the 4 to both sides. So now we have x over 7 equals 8. Now I can rewrite that as x times 1/7 equals 8. And we see that this right here is division. Now we've gotten rid of multiplication a lot before. We have like 3x. Well, we get rid of that just by dividing by 3. Right? Well, when we're dividing, we're going to multiply, right? So to get rid of x over 7, we're going to multiply this by 7, because that'll just cancel out, right? But remember, we have to multiply both sides by 7 too. So we'll get x is equal to 7 times 8, which is 56, right? So basically, whenever you're trying to get rid of multiplication, division, addition, subtraction, just do the opposite operation, right? If you have a negative 4, add 4. If you have a positive 4, subtract 4. If you have 3 times x, divide by 3. If you have x over 3, or x divided by 3, multiply by 3. Basically, do the opposite operation, right? And to recap, addition and subtraction, then you do multiplication or division, right? Now, on to new pastures. What if we have more than one x on the same side of the equal sign? Right, let's say we have something like this. 9x plus 11 minus 5x plus 10 equals negative 15. What are we going to do here? The first thing we're going to want to do is combine like terms. Combine our x's and combine our numbers. Right, so 9x minus 5x is 4x. 10 plus 11 is 21. That's all equal to negative 15. Right, now we're going to want to get rid of our 21, so we're going to subtract 21 from both sides. Right, and now if you look at this point, right, we basically have what we were doing before, or a multi-step equation. Right, so we get rid of addition and subtraction first, which we do. And now we get rid of multiplication or division. So we're going to divide to get rid of multiplication. We have x equals negative 9. Right? Now that's not too bad. You may say, okay, well, let's just simplify. I'm just taking my like terms. I'm doing what they will. Well, it looks easy. But remember, there's always trick problems. Let's do something like this, for example. 3 times 4x minus 5 plus 2 times 11 minus 2x equals 43. Now you may see all of these parentheses and say, oh no, this distributive property is going to be nasty. Don't worry. Just be calm and orderly about it, right? We're going to take this 3, multiply by this 4x. That gives us 12x. We're going to take this 3, multiply by 5. We get 15. We're going to bring this negative sign down, bring the subtraction sign down, right? Plus 2 times 11, 22. Bring the subtraction sign down. 2 times 2x, 4x. So it equals 43. Then we're going to do what we just did and combine our x's and our numbers. So 12x minus 4x, that's 8x. 22 minus 15, that's 7. That's equal to 43. And now, you might be saying, hey, that's a multi-step equation. So what do I do first? I get rid of my addition or subtraction. To get rid of my addition, I'm just going to subtract by 7. Of course, I have to do that on both sides. Right? Now I have 36 equals 8x. Right? Now, we're going to try to simplify this. And going to get, 36x. Then we're going to divide by 8. Get x equals 36 over 8. So we can simplify that. Divided by 4. That's 9 halves, which is our answer. And I might look at that and say, whew, that was a big, nasty mess. Well, don't worry. You're not the only person to think that. This stuff can be very, very tricky. But just remember, keep your cool. The distributive property, just multiply each of your terms and then bring your sign down. Right? So there's a plus or negative sign, we're just going to drop that thing down. Right? Just multiply this number by every single thing inside the parentheses. Now, for the hardest challenge yet. What if we have equations with x's on both sides of the equation sign? This is the thing that most people struggle with, and this is the thing that we're going to practice the most. Right? So let's say you have something like 12x minus 11 equals 7x plus 9. The first thing we're going to want to do is move the x's to one side. Doesn't matter which side, but I'm going to pick the left-hand side for this example. So to get rid of x's here, I'm going to subtract by 7x. If you do the same thing on this side, I'm left with 5x minus 11 equals 9. Right? Now it looks like a multi-step equation. And now we just have to do the exact same thing that we do for a multi-step equation. We get rid of subtraction first. So we're going to add 11 to both sides. Now we divide to get rid of the multiplication. Oh, divided by 5. Get x equals 4. Right. But let's do some more practice, because this sure can be tricky. All right. Say I have something like this. 3x minus 25 equals 11x minus 5 plus 2x. Now, in this opportunity, I look in and I say, we're going to rewrite that because that's a little messy. I'm going to look at it and say, is there an opportunity for me to simplify prior to me rearranging all my x's? And it turns out there is. I've got an x here and an x here. So I'm going to combine them. I'm going to leave this left-hand side untouched for now. 11 plus 2 is 13, so I have 13x minus 5. And now I want to get all our x's on a single side. In this case, I'm going to choose the right-hand side. Right? I'm going to do 3x, subtract 3x to get rid of this. And of course, we have to do it on both sides. So we're left with negative 25 equals 10x minus 5. Now, this looks like a multi-step. So we're going to do the exact same thing that we do for multi-steps. We're going to get rid of subtraction or addition first. In this case, we have subtraction. So I'm going to add 5 to both sides. I get negative 20 equals 10x. I'm going to divide by 10 to get rid of that multiplication. And I get x equals negative 2. That is my final answer. So, just remember, when you're simplifying, always look for ways that you can combine like terms first. If you've done that, then say, all right, do I have any x's on both sides of my equation? And if that's the case, put them all on one side of the equation. Once you've done that, say, oh, are there any addition or subtraction on the side that I have x's? If there is, get rid of them, right? And finally look and say, hey, am I multiplying or dividing my x's by anything? If you are, then get rid of them too. Then you will always, always, always be left with your final answer. If you follow that step-by-step process, you will never go wrong. That's all I have. I hope this helped, and I hope you have a great day.